Welcome back to the Boys in Motion podcast, where we turn questionable endurance ideas, like always, into community wide movements. I'm Tyler, here with Brian and Andy, and today we're introducing something that started a little bit as a winter training joke and somehow turned into an organized cult. Community challenge, I guess. It's called Burrito League.
One, two, three, four.
Yeah, so if you've ever struggled to stay consistent in winter training, if you've ever needed a reason to get out the door when motivation is in the negative, just like the temperatures, this episode is for you because Burrito League is hitting Canada with a storm. It's not about speed, it's definitely about showing up, stacking reps, and suffering just enough together that it becomes fun and pretty viral as well.
And honestly, this whole thing started because runners on Strava decided that running down that same tiny stretch of sidewalk back and forth until it broke their spirit needed a leaderboard and the sweet prize of free burritos for a year. And then what was started as boredom turned into a burrito obsession. And now we're bringing it to the BIM community.
Yeah, this is amazing. So obviously, Burrito League has taken social media by storm. It's probably one of the most viral things to hit running in the last year. And I think nobody better but the king of Toronto himself, Andrew, could talk about how this Burrito League formed because you've had some time to think doing those laps of Toronto.
Yeah, I have had some time to think. But yeah, essentially this thing started as the Chipotle challenge. So Chipotle actually sponsored this thing. I think it's been 2 years in a row now at least, where they had a segment and then they gave just the overall winner in multiple cities, and Toronto was actually included last year, a free year, one burrito per week, so 52 burritos to the overall champion on a specific segment that was close to a Chipotle. So in our case, it was close to Spadina, but the famous one and the one where it got extra wacky was in Tempe. And that was between Jamil and Kevin. And I remember last year watching it like it was the Super Bowl, just being dialed in to Jamil's live streams with how crazy it got, because they were pumping out 50Ks, 100Ks, 100 milers, and it was just an absolute wild event.
That is so cool. And sorry, right off the top, we should say last week we were talking about doing the BIM Awards. We forgot to mention it right at the top, but I'm going to mention it here. The plan is to push that to next week just because we had to talk about the Burrito League. Everybody's hungry at BIM and we just want to talk burritos.
We had emergency burrito business to attend.
Yeah, big business. So that's crazy. I didn't realize like the reason this went so viral was actually like a corporate initiative by Chipotle, but obviously it's grown like far beyond.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I remember I saw this after the fact, but it always dropped on January the 3rd. And I saw this video of Jamil basically saying, all right, Chipotle, like this thing isn't happening. We need to take this into our own hands and start this ourselves. So that's when Burrito League was formed, and you can go on Burrito League on Instagram, get all kind of the background information. There's a lot of posts there now, but they started it in Tempe and put up some pretty sweet awards for first overall, and then they also did like first, second, third, and male and female, so that was nice to see as well. And basically it's just been a grassroots thing since there. A ton of cities have popped up to join in, got a lot of other great awards. A lot of Canadian cities have popped in, including Toronto, which is led by Josh, but it really has just exploded, and all within a matter of a couple days. January 3rd is when it was supposed to launch with Chipotle, didn't, and I believe the Tempe launched on the 5th and Toronto on the 6th or 7th. So within a matter of a couple days, this thing was up and running with big prizes and people doing crazy miles.
Yeah, this concept is crazy to me and I just love it. Let's walk through the definition of a segment and bring us through, Andrew, what this leaderboard looks like, of course, on that famous app called Strava.
Yeah, I just think this is so cool that like a corporate sponsor stopped doing something, and it just shows the strength of community in endurance sports.
And it just got
that, like,
bigger.
yeah, it just gets so much bigger because we all love to do these things. And it's just so cool to see how big it's gotten. So that original segment was like a back and forth, but I think like a number of different cities have done it different ways. So Andrew, kick us off. What is it like in Toronto at least, and what have you seen other places?
Yeah, so to kick it off, let's go into segmenting. And on Burrito League, they actually put up a really nice post with a picture of Jamil and Kevin with kind of the official verb definition of what segmenting is that I thought was good to give some people some context.
I love this one.
And that is the act of running back and forth on the same short stretch of sidewalk, usually in January, until a repetition becomes strategy, obsession, and your whole identity, which that is definitely the case for me currently. So like for Tempe and the standard, it is back and forth. And this is something I didn't realize when I was looking at the Tempe record is they've been putting in some crazy mileage, and the mileage is actually only half because the out counts as the segment, the back does not. So if you run 10 kilometers in a day, only 5 of that counts towards the segment. Some others have taken the approach of doing a loop, like in Toronto, where it's just a loop and you keep going round and round. So the entire loop is a segment, so you can actually run the exact distance that you've done loops. So those are the two popular kind of formats.
Yeah, and I think it's also, I've seen some areas do a little bit longer, but it's a segment 300 to 600 meters kind of thing. So very short. And you just obviously do that over and over again and try to get as many loops as possible. But I think I've seen Vancouver up to 1 mile long, I think.
Yeah, and it's so cool. Like today with technology, GPS watches, Strava leaderboards, it's really easy to track this. You just start your GPS watch. As long as you know what the segment is, you can just go back and forth around and start fighting for that local legend status on that given route. And Strava keeps track of it. I don't know how like the official leaderboards are built, but I would think most of the time it's pretty good just going off of the Strava, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it seems like there's a really good app that was created for Burrito League, and it looks like that's just based off the Strava API because it just shows when either the leader increases their lead or a new person overtakes. Because that's the one thing in Strava is you can only see the current local legend or people that you're following. So I would say that if Burrito League is to expand, I think talks should happen with Strava to maybe open it up for the hosts at least, so that, because I know speaking with Josh, he's been like following everyone like crazy trying to get like good context so he can create leaderboards. So that's the one thing has been a little challenging.
Yeah, and so this is a cool place to dive in. Every single place where Burrito League happens is happening through a grassroots campaign of connecting with local businesses, connecting with the local running communities, and getting people out and aligned to do this crazy challenge. And then there's competition that happens between those top people. And yeah, it just seems amazing. Like a great culture is developed through that. I know we're going to dive into like your experience doing Burrito League, but I think the exciting part about this episode is what Tyler's working on. Tyler, can you let us know what you have in the works?
Oh yeah, I'm very interested and intrigued in the Toronto Burrito League leaderboards here, and actually is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do one in Ottawa. So I'm looking at doing the first ever, let's call it, Burrito League Ottawa edition in the capital of Canada. And I was just jealous of all the fun you guys are having in Toronto. So I'm like, why don't we bring this to Ottawa? So I started approaching businesses and asking around local businesses around the area for prizes, things like that. And we're starting to line up some pretty fun prizes. And yeah, the loops are starting, let's say. I started the segment yesterday, just trying to get the word out. And I think we're doing some sort of official statement coming out for this Burrito League Ottawa edition. We've got some nice...
Well, for context,
yeah.
Just to context that, we're recording this on January 11th, releasing this episode on January 13th. So by then, hopefully, this is like a wider announcement, right?
100%. Yeah, like I'm hoping to have the official announcement, let's say by the time we release this episode. Because I've spoke to, so the other fun thing too about Ottawa is we are the shawarma capital of the area. Best shawarmas in all around Ontario. So instead of burritos, we switched it up to a local shawarma shop, which have their buy-in. Shawarma Almuna, they'll be doing that prize, either a voucher or a gift card. We'll be seeing those details shortly. And then also some of those typical prizes in other cities, like race registrations. I'm talking to a few sports stores as well to get some vouchers or some percentage off for the winners. And I think we're getting the ball rolling here, and it'll be a pretty freaky competition with a lot of people.
Now, what I would love to know is a little bit more about the segment you picked, the location and area, and any insights people need to know that are about to try to get that local legend status.
So this segment is located in Westboro. So first of all, I did find the location of the shawarma place that I was looking at, made the segment, again, very close to the same idea as Toronto. So a 0.53 loop around this shawarma shop. And it is 0.53 kilometers, barely any elevation, and just through a neighborhood right off of Wellington. This is great. I find this is a great location as it's in Westboro, close to a lot of other areas, a lot of very popular, let's call it running paths that a lot of runners go to all throughout the whole season, to be honest, like through winter, summer, any sort of weather actually as well. We had quite a bit of snow yesterday and into today, and we were still getting some people with the laps on there on Burrito League. I think it's a great spot right off of Wellington near Holland Avenue. And and it's really close to, I'm hoping, other sponsors that I'll be getting prizes to as well. So there's some local run shops, cycling stores nearby, and just looking to get some really good prizes for this Burrito League segment.
That's really cool. Nice.
Fun thing is too with this shawarma shop, he's opening a burger place right beside. So it's in the opening soon stage. I feel like it'll be good visibility for the burgers as well. That is coming soon.
So this actually, the one part actually passes right by Shawarma Almuna?
Yeah, nice. So right on Wellington Street is that little section is where Shawarma Almuna is. And you pass right by it. And it's a nice loop from that corner to corner clockwise.
Amazing, yeah. Not much of a course overview because the course is so short, but I'm sure the people in Ottawa have just as much as fun as me, if not more, because it looks like the conditions in Ottawa are a little bit more dicey than in Toronto right now.
Oh yeah, I know you were dealing with a bit of rain yesterday, but we were getting that sleet, ice, and into snow. I just texted a few friends, got some feelers out to get the word going on this segment, and I had some friends drop 20K in this weather. I think it's going to get pretty freaky.
Yeah, that's real nice. I just don't know if there's counts would be my thing. I'm going to give a shout out to Ezekiel because I know he did a lot of mileage, but I don't know if those are cheater miles because they were basically before the start date, but I'm sure you'll be able to negotiate with them.
Oh, and it doesn't matter. He'll still get those miles. I know he's an absolute legend out there in the Ottawa area. So there's going to be a lot of people gunning for that top spot, I could guarantee you.
Have you chatted with any of the big run clubs around? I'm sure.
I've been in talks with Blacktoe, and I know they run a run club actually from their location, which is just about a mile down the street. And we're trying to sort out actually a prize for Toronto and Ottawa, both locations. So I think that would be a nice addition to the prizes. And this morning, for example, they ran actually past on Wellington. Obviously, they didn't see that the segment was created yet, I think, but I think a lot of those people from that run group will be definitely in the mix on this segment. And of course, I'm going to reach out to OCRC and other run clubs around.
Awesome.
Now, I think you might need to take over the Bush Taka long run from Mike for a couple of weeks because I hear there's a new very exciting route that they can take, and all in the name of Bush Taka.
Exactly. I mentioned it to him actually because he went out on the run today. I saw him and another guy and I said, hey, why run the beautiful canal when you could run circles around a shawarma shop? And for now, he has passed, but this is gonna get onto the airwaves pretty soon. Who knows? We might hit the news with this, and he's gonna have no choice but to run some laps on his Bush Tucker Run Club.
Yeah, he can continue to run the canal, but when every other runner in Ottawa is doing loops around the shawarma place, he's going to be out there desolate while you guys are ripping circles around that place.
So Tyler, I do have a warning that when Josh launched it the next day, he got an interview with a Canadian running magazine. So
I did see
you
that.
better watch out. If it starts blowing up, Canadian Running Magazine might be a knocking on your door for a nice interview from the Shawarma King.
I'm gonna need to shave the beard and get a haircut because I'm ready to go.
That's awesome. Congratulations to the Ottawa community for getting this started, and hopefully by the time this episode is released, like it's in full force and there's people outside of our immediate circle who know about it and are rolling it, and there's good sponsorships and all of that. I'm excited to see everything that happens to make this a huge success. For the listener, what would you tell people on the other line to do? What would you tell them to tell their friends about it? All of that.
Yeah, exactly. I guess get out there, run to the spot because it's very easily accessible from downtown, from the west side, even from Centertown. Go run to the spot, get a couple laps of the segment in, tell some friends, and just start that competition. Just start doing those laps one after the other, and of course, stop in for a nice shawarma after because you're going to be hungry for some carbs.
Yeah, and follow us on social because that's where we're going to be releasing like updates on what's happening, and also just like keeping people, yeah, like up to date with sponsorships that are coming and that sort of thing. And hopefully you can launch a few runs, get a few organized runs where people can just hang on to your tailcoat as they rip around the circle.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get some of that going. And yeah, of course, you got to get the social media following. That way you'll get to know when we're doing some group runs on the segment and also some launches for new prizes, like you were saying.
Now, Tyler, you're well versed in the freaks that are Ottawa. I'm curious what you think. So we're starting this on the 13th, so probably about 19 days until the 31st for Ottawa to rip up this segment. What do you think it will take to take that local legend status? What kind of mileage do you think people are going to be putting up?
Yeah, that's a good question. You never know with the community here. We're a couple days in, and a couple days in, let's call it unsanctioned right now. We're going to have to talk to the higher ups and see if we could get some of these laps counted for. But I have over 30 efforts and still with the soft launch. So I'm thinking a couple hundred miles will have to do the cake. We'll have to see. I don't think we could get to Toronto numbers because we are starting about a week late, but I would like to get to see some crazy, like you guys have been doing, some crazy mileage out there.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a lot. I think some people are going to do some big mileage and big weekends. So I think you'll have to be pretty consistent and be putting up some big numbers to take it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? If you fall behind on 1 week and there's people that are just consistently putting in 10, 15, 20K a day, they're just going to continue to stack those laps more than you. And so it really is a cool thing that, Andrew, we're going to dive into it, is taking over your life, basically. And yeah, it's just crazy. So for the Ottawa folks out there, get ready, buckle up, because there goes your January.
Exactly. Forget dry January. You're going to get really wet with all weather conditions out there, let's just say.
Yes, I'm definitely a slave to the burrito currently. So yeah, it will definitely take over your life, and I hope it takes over the lives of many people in Ottawa, because there's nothing better in January. What else are you doing?
That's true. The other thing I'm excited to see is like some of the roads around the segment are not well traveled on like the heat maps on Strava. So I'm excited when like these leagues launch to see that become like the darkest part of the city on the heat maps.
That's true. I never thought of that.
In Toronto.
Yeah, let's shift over to the Toronto squad, the Burrito League Toronto. Let's call it one of I would say the original one that started in Canada, pretty close to it, and one of the most popular, I would say. Yeah, hit us off with your current endeavors and let us know what's going on right now. Give us a summary, play by play.
And I guess the other thing for Andrew is like we should announce him as currently at the time of recording the local legend on the segment, the number one place person with however many loops, almost an infinite amount in a few days. So over to you, Andrew. I just got to give you that shout out because it's been incredible following you on social.
Yeah, so I'll just kick it off. I'll give some quick high-level stats, and then I'll give a backstory how I got involved in this very silly thing. But as of today, on January 11th, I have 347 loops, or segments, with a total mileage, or total distance this week since it started, which was Wednesday, of about 134 kilometers. So that's how much I've ran so far in the 5-day period. And that's what it takes to be the local legend for the Toronto Burrito League. So it is not an easy feat, but those sweet burritos are calling me. I might not get them, but I'm definitely going to try. Yeah.
This is just wild. I'm looking at some of these stats here and it's just blowing my mind on the amount of laps you're doing, and also like you're doing some slower laps and then some are still very fast, and I could see you're even getting close to some of the course record times too, which is just wild.
So up until now, I've employed zero speed. My whole strategy is run very easy. If there's someone to run with, slow down to their pace. So that's why you'll see lots of changes in my speeds. Is sometimes I'll be running solo, and then once in a while I'll be like, okay, I should slow down. And then if there's someone, I'll always run with them because the yap miles are the best miles, and it makes the loops go by so much faster. Like today's run, the burrito marathon, the first burrito marathon, by so quickly. And I wanted to keep going, but I was like, I need to stay to the plan and not do anything too wacky just yet.
This is wild. I guess just quickly, were you planning on doing the marathon time of recording today? Were you planning on doing the marathon, and did you bring enough nutrition? Did you just go in for a quick burrito snack? Are you getting to know some patrons at the burrito place and you're just starting to know everybody around, or how's it going?
No, I didn't plan on doing a marathon today. I had nutrition for about 25K, and then I just went raw dog after no nutrition. But with the speed I'm going, it really isn't too bad to be doing that, and it's cold. But then after, I treated myself to my first burrito of the Burrito League challenge. And I figured I had burnt enough burritos at this point that I earned one burrito at least.
So do they know you're doing this, the workers? Can they realize that people are running circles around their store?
So in this case, I actually got it from Fat Bastard. So I betrayed Wilbur, who is actually the sponsor. But the reason is the location in Liberty Village is not open yet. So Wilbur is not an option. Oh. Wilbur's burrito are actually excellent, and I would have went there if it was open. So they're still working on opening that location.
Yeah, actually, they are a name in Ottawa as well. I've been spreading the word and telling people, and they said, oh, they know about Wilbur. So I feel like it's a great location.
Yeah, that is just absolutely crazy that you capped off your week with a marathon. And just like the context here, again, just to set everybody's frame of mind for what you're doing, is this is basically going around a track because it's a 400-meter loop. So you are doing that over 100 times just to complete that after already having done dozens and dozens of miles. So it's just unbelievable. So obviously you've met some familiar faces. Have you met some of the legends that are competing with you or also competing on the women's side who are leading the pack?
Yeah, I've met most of the people that are competing. There's a couple, and one who I'm very spooked by, Paul, that I have not met yet. And the day I meet him, it's going to be a scary day. But I've met most of the people. I've met the 4 women that are currently doing it. Spent quite a few miles with all of them, chatting and getting to know them. And then lots of time with Josh, who is the one that actually brought Burrito League to Toronto and hooked up all of the amazing prizes that are up for offer and why everyone's getting after it. And he's actually the one that I'm competing with the most right now. That's who I just overtook but he's just 10 loops behind me. So he's one, organizing, but two, putting in some serious mileage. So he's spooking me, and I don't really know what he has next or planned.
Yeah, and I'm quite nervous about this guy as well. And I expect Josh to be listening to this podcast episode when it releases. And Andrew, just a few warnings. Like, this guy puts up some mega weeks I was seeing in his training, like hundreds of kilometers, and has done 100-milers. Are you at all nervous that your body just won't be able to sustain versus his because he's put in some of those mega efforts?
The thing is, I've put in good volume, but I've always done it with a lot of intensity.
That's true.
From Wednesday until now, if I were to put that kind of volume in a normal training block, my body would feel very differently than it feels right now. So we'll see. It's a new experience. I don't really know what's to come, but I'm here for it. I love it. I love meeting the new people, chatting with people, and it's like the perfect amount of stupid that I'm fully locked in. I don't really care what happens in the end, win, lose, burn out. I'm here for it, locked in.
That is awesome.
I love it.
If you could put a probability that you put in a 3-digit kilometer run, like a single run over 100K by the end of the month, where would you put that probability from 0 to 100?
Oh man, I need to make this announcement public.
This is just probability.
Yeah.
If it's 100, it's 100.
And we can bleep this out. We could bleep the number if you don't want the other locals to hear this.
Yeah, we might need to bleep this. I think the probability is 100%.
Holy frig. So that is insane. That'll be 250 loops of the segment in a single run to do 100K. What creeps in while you're doing these mentally?
Burritos.
Other than the burritos, yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough. I did I think it was like 28K solo in the rain last night. And so that is like bad conditions. And I feel like that one, it was like, I had the covers for my watch, or like for the wrist sleeves, and I covered my watch with my jacket and that. And I would try to just not think about pace, loops, and just let my mind wander and try to see like mentally how long I could do that for. And I was trying to go to hours, and then I would look. So I was like, how long can I just lock into this loop, let my mind just wander to whatever, and then look. And then basically if I did it, then I would go again. And if not, I would do like a loop tax, and then I would restart an hour. And then when I was like close to done, I would say, okay, when I was 2 miles away from when I was wanting to be done, I would say, okay, I'm going 10 more laps, which is 2.5 miles. So to do a little bit. So it's just always playing those weird little mental
mind games. Yeah.
And yeah, like the first night I went out, I was actually counting laps. And I would have my hands out, and I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just kept going up. And like my counting, and I only did 16K that night, and my counting got so bad by the end. Like I was like, wait, what number am I at? And then I'd have to check my distance, and then start doing math. But then I was...
that sounds like me doing the Everest challenge.
The brain math.
Back to me calculating how many climbs I had done. And that was far easier, but I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just games. And then if people are there, chat. And it's really nice.
Yeah, I think I'm taking these all in my notebook for the Ottawa community. The more the merrier to start, but I think someone or multiple people will have to do those dark, lonely nights out on the segment. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it really is just grind to victory and grind to those burritos. So cool. So there's some prizes obviously in Toronto. What are you running for?
So the prizes right now, I think there's going to actually be, by the time this drops, I think there will be a big announcement on Monday, so the day before this drops, of some more expanded prizes. I won't speak on those too much. But for the first overall, the initial prizes was a year of free burritos from Wilbur, 1 a week, so 52 burritos, a unlimited membership at Othership, and whoever wins this, their body will definitely need that. And it's like a spa sauna place, but like very fancy. They do like sessions and all that. And then also $350 from Sinister Sports. So that's kind of a trail racing series. And they put on, I was looking at their races, and they put on like crazy races, a lot in Alberta, but there's like a 200 miler in Sault Ste. Marie. There's a 5-day event at Blue Mountain. So, you know, races that are very fitting for the people that are doing this challenge, I think, except for me, really, because it's not normally my cup of tea.
It's starting to be, let's just say.
Yeah, that's a big prize pool, especially considering there's two sides, male and female. Hopefully in Ottawa we can spin up some cool prizes.
Exactly.
And yeah, who knows? We might just be so in love with this idea that there will be something BIM thrown into the ring as well. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking of getting some of these nice prizes made up in Ottawa too. And just discovering Sinister Sports in the past couple days, like you're saying, those pretty freaky races they host just appeases to that Ottawa Gatineau community. They're just looking for that next fix, looking for that next adventure race. This is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, so cool. The last question that I had for you, Andrew, was obviously there's a number of people that are highly dedicated to this idea of winning the event, but I'm sure there's other people who are just like running it casually and that sort of thing. But a ton of people that know about it, but are like, oh, I'm not going to win. What's the point of going out? What would you tell that listener?
First of all, you come out, and there's actually Amanda and Olivia who came out and were just, I want to come check it out. And I love burger drops, which is on the loop. So they wanted to grab it. But I think just coming out, meeting these individuals that are doing this thing, having conversations, meeting like-minded people, meeting Josh, the master behind the whole thing, I think is just like a cool opportunity, and to make some good future training partners, because it's hard to meet people that are quite like this, especially in such a compact little place, loop. So you'll be able to find us pretty easily. The other thing, Josh was saying that there's going to be some daily prizes of a bunch of sponsors coming through, of like you do 5 loops that day, you get a gel, something like that, like some sort of prize. So he's trying to up the incentive for those people that are maybe a week behind and are like you said, what's the point? And then there's also, I forget the name of it, but it was a coffee rave in Toronto, where it's like the rave community, but instead it's during the day and with coffee. And then he's trying to line something with them up for the final day. So it's going to be a party in the parking lot. So that's another thing. I know another thing that he's been teasing, again, the details are all getting sorted out, but it's something with Othership, where they're going to do a run club, where you start at Othership, run to the loop, do the loop a few times, and then go back to Othership, and they're going to be giving out free passes. So there is like little mini prizes to be won, especially in Toronto. So yeah, and loops are great. Once you get on the loop, you'll never want to get off.
I think this is the new thing. You seen a run right after my burrito loop, just scouting out the sites today. And I just did a quick loop around my parking lot. Loops is the new thing.
Yeah, even in my training for the marathon this fall, or I guess last fall, when I was doing those like 20 milers, I was doing them in 1 to 2K loops so that I could keep going on the nutrition, just a little, nutrition station at home. The loops is the right way to run. This is awesome. And I'm here for it. It is very nice being a spectator. It's also very nice living in Font Hill, in a lower density spot where there's not as many freaks that are hyper located, where this kind of thing can take off. So hopefully there's no Niagara based league, but if there is, I will gladly throw my hat in the ring and do a few loops. I don't know that I'd be able to keep up with somebody like Andrew though. That's crazy.
Oh, I'm going down to Niagara in a couple weekends. I'll start one up.
I think what you should do is pop into Toronto and do a couple loops with me, because you know where I'll be. So just pop in, and that's a shout out to the whole BIM community. If you're based in Toronto, if you're visiting Toronto, looking for something very fun to do, join me on that Liberty Village loop, because I could use the company.
I actually might.
Yeah, I like that. I'm in Toronto like for work fairly often. There's a few weekends between then and now, between then and the last date. So might need to get a truckload of people up to come support you and slow you down a little.
That's good. Slowing me down is exactly what I need because the turtle, I think, will win this race.
Burrito mode, the burrito roll, we'll call it.
That's exactly it. Tyler, I'll give you the floor one more time. 60-second elevator pitch to the athletes of Ottawa, to the businesses of Ottawa, to everybody in the running community. What do they need to know? I'm going to try to chop this up into an actual YouTube short, Instagram reel, all of that. What is Ottawa's Burrito League all about?
Yeah, Ottawa Burrito League, we've made it. Let's get this segment rolling in Westboro. And of course, we need those nice prizes for everybody to enjoy, and those freaks that are out there that want to run some segments around one loop after the other. Let's get after it. I know we could get pretty high up there. We'll try to start competing with that Toronto squad, but it'll be hard to catch. And yeah, I think just follow us on all socials. Instagram will be very active, and of course, we'll be on YouTube and TikTok. But yeah, more prizes to come, and let's start crushing those segments.
I love it. Thank you. That was perfect.
Yeah, put me on the spot there. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good there. I think this is a great spot to cut the episode for everybody out there. That's a summary on Burrito League, this crazy trendy thing going on in January, and I think will just lead to more fun events and community-wide outreach. So I'm very excited to see what happens with this. I know it's slightly ridiculous, but I think this is what it has to be for it to be this viral. So let's keep it going, and I can't wait to see what happens for the end of the month.
Yeah, and if you want in, follow us on Instagram and share this episode with a friend, whether they're in Ottawa, Toronto, or one of the other many cities that are participating in Burrito League. So yeah, Ottawa, you're up. Toronto, we're stacking those miles. And just want to give a huge shout out to Josh, who's running the Toronto Burrito League, and Christy and Shep, who helped bring it into Canada. What you're doing, I'm addicted. So yeah, keep it going.
Yeah, speaking with you two addicts today was really great. I'm glad 2 of the 3 BIM members are now part of this weird cult. And I think the disclaimer is as important as it's ever been. We are not medical professionals. We are running amateurs. So train smart, do your loops, but listen to your body and consult experts when you need it.
Until next time, keep showing up on that segment, keep stacking those loops, and may your burritos always be earned.